Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Planning Commission for San Benito County to order, please. Commissioner Scagliotti will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready?
I didn't hear you.
Begin.
Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Stephanie, can you do roll call, please?
Absolutely. District 1, Vincent Ringhayden.
Present.
District 2, Richard Way is absent. District 3, Robert Scagliotti.
Present.
District 4, Robert Gibson.
Present.
District 5, Bobby Thomason.
Present.
We have a quorum of commissioners present.
And now we'll move on to Abraham Prado for our department announcements.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Planning Commission. Good evening. Abraham Prado, Director of Planning and Building Services, County of San Benito. This is the planning announcements that we do on a monthly basis just to let the Planning Commission know the applications for discretionary permits that have come in since the last Planning Commission meeting. We have a lot more applications that come in for building permits, which are handled administratively at the building department, but these are discretionary applications that we'll be presenting to you for you to know that you will eventually be hearing them at a future public hearing. And so with that being said, we'll start with the first one, and that's application number PLN 250068. If CMAP can please put it up on the screen, we'll try to have a site plan and aerial view as well. Thank you so much. And this pertains to a proposed amendment to a condition of a previously approved parcel map. As can be seen from the map, the property is located at 15 Stevens Drive in the unincorporated area outside of San Juan Bautista. The condition that the applicant would like to amend is a condition that requires that prior to issuance of any permit for a residential unit on a parcel or on the designated remainder, the property owner shall acquire and construct a secondary access to county standards, which will become the primary access across the rear of the property. The new road shall now utilize a hillside south of San Juan Bautista. And so because this was a subdivision that was approved by the Planning Commission with conditions of approval, then it is only right to bring the condition of approval before you for review. So we've received the application recently. We'll do the review of it and then schedule it to a future Planning Commission meeting before you. Item number 2, application number PLN 250069 pertains to a proposed conditional use permit for a 30-foot extension to an existing 65-foot cell tower at 2680 Buena Vista Road, about 1/4 mile east of Highway 156. The applicant has submitted this request to support additional T-Mobile antennas and improve coverage/capacity. The cell tower is a monopine designed to attempt to blend with scenic features. So that we'll be reviewing and bringing before you at a future public hearing. Application number 3, PLN 250070 and PLN 250071 pertains to a proposed appeal for tentative parcel map extension. This is an extension that was given for the Bedabel subdivision located at 9644 Bedabel Road, approximately 6 miles northwest of downtown San Juan Bautista. And just to be clear, this is for the subdivision, not for the conditional use permit that was previously also approved by the Planning Commission at a different meeting prior. This is just a subdivision that was approved in September 2024 for the subdivision of the parcel into 4 parcels. The applicant came before the Planning Commission, the administration planning department, and was granted an administrative extension of their application. And so we have a appeal that was submitted by the Alma Muslim Tribal Band, Protect San Benito, and Center for Biological Diversity. claiming that the approved extension should not have been granted, arguing that the county relied on a flawed environmental review, failed to conduct proper tribal consultation under AB 52, and used the extension to lock in project entitlements and sidestep the impact of Measure A, which they believe eliminated the Bedaball commercial node. The appeal will be heard at an upcoming Planning Commission meeting before you once we have it processed administratively. Item number 4 of 5. Item number 4 is application number PLN 250072, which pertains to a proposed conditional use permit for a 100-foot tall monopole tower. It would be a monopine within a 50 by 50-foot fence leased area at 2200 San Juan Road. The tower will carry Verizon antennas and related equipment to improve 4G and 5G coverage in San Benito County. Ground facilities inside the fence area will include radio cabinets, an equipment canopy, a fiber box, electrical service equipment, and a backup diesel generator, all mounted on concrete pads. So staff will be reviewing the application, getting it prepared, making sure it meets all local and state guidelines, and then bringing it before you for a public hearing. And finally, item number 5, preliminary builder's remedy application number PLN 250074. And this project is proposing a new residential development along Airline Highway in Hollister under the builder's remedy. The plan includes 104 single-family detached homes and 45 townhomes on 2 multifamily lots, with 30 of those townhomes designated as affordable units. The project also provides supporting features: an open space lot with a park and stormwater area, a lift station lot with a small park, and a lot for sewer treatment areas, since the site is not yet directly connected to municipal sewer. And I want to state that regarding this item number 5, I would like to provide a brief update on the status of the certification of the 6th cycle housing element. As you know, your Planning Commission recommended to the Board of Supervisors the adoption of the housing element, and the Board of Supervisors adopted the housing element back in May 20th of this year. And as you know as well, because it was discussed at the Planning Commission level as well, that the state HCD indicated that in order for them to consider the actual certification, they wanted the County of San Benito to rezone multiple parcels, 11 parcels that were located just outside of the city limits. And so we started right away. We went before the Board of Supervisors and conducted the initiation of the rezones. And we have been working on those rezones. The environmental review has been prepared and it's out. And we are hoping to bring in late October of next month the Planning Commission hearing recommendation to the Board of Supervisors for the rezone and general plan amendment. And then mid-November, Board of Supervisors first reading, introduction of the rezone, and public hearing on the general plan amendment. And early December, Board of Supervisors second reading, adoption of rezone ordinance and GPA. And then within 5 business days, send everything to HCD. So that is the current plan that we are working on at this time.
I apologize, Abraham. Minor correction. It's coming to the Planning Commission at the regular meeting of November, and it will go to the board at the first regular meeting in December.
In December, okay. Thank you so much. So just minor adjustments there. We're trying to bring it as soon as possible, and we're hoping that by December it should be sent to HCD for a potential certification. So this concludes the application submitted for discretionary approval from August 20th, 2025 until today, September 17th, 2025. Thank you.
Chair, I have a question of Abraham, please.
Yes.
Where are these parcels located, Abraham, that the general plan amendment for?
These parcels are located mostly they're all located in the unincorporated area of the County of San Benito, but mostly right outside of the city of Hollister, city limit line. It would be San Benito Street extension between Nash and Union. Those
The ones we've talked about before.
Those are the ones we talked about before.
Housing element.
The housing element.
And the housing
Thank
element.
you.
That is correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
No.
All right. Thank you, Abraham. We'll open this up to public comment for items not on the agenda.
Okay, it looks like I have a hand via Zoom. Leslie, you've been allowed to speak.
Thank you so much, Commissioners, and thank you for the work you do on behalf of the community. My name is Leslie Austin. I've lived in San Benito County for about 38 years, and I serve as the co-director of the CCA Workforce and Environmental Justice Alliance, which is a nonprofit that works with community choice aggregators across California on workforce, climate, and equity standards. Since nuclear power has come up in a past discussion, I wanted to offer some background that I think might be useful to the Commission. You may know that California has had a moratorium on nuclear plants since the 1970s. The law basically says that no new facility can be approved until there's a federally approved solution for permanent radioactive waste storage. And unfortunately, that solution doesn't exist, which means new nuclear power simply isn't an option here in San Benito County. There's been some buzz that maybe some of you have heard about around small modular reactors, which are essentially designed to be factory built and shipped to a site, which sounds actually really simple, but they're still experimental, and they create the same long-lived waste as traditional plants. And most studies show that they'll be far more expensive than renewables and storage, which are already being built at scale in California today. Meanwhile, wind and solar and geothermal and battery storage are proving themselves every day. They're super affordable. They create local jobs. They make our grid much more resilient. Our regional community choice aggregator, 3CE, keeps choosing these resources because they provide both climate benefits and direct value for the people they serve, which are also the people that we in the Planning Commission, or we in San Benito County elected roles serve. I did want to mention that just last weekend, the legislature passed an affordability package that will help slow down the rising energy bills that people are facing by financing wildfire upgrades and transmission improvements in ways that save customers money over time. And those basically energy affordability is now top of mind across the state, not only for voters, but also for regulators and energy providers. And I think that makes it even more important that our local choices focus, when possible, on proven cost-effective solutions. So I just wanted to share that as general context. It's not really in response to any specific proposal, but I'm hoping it's helpful as you continue making land use and energy decisions for San Benito County. And of course, if any of you are interested, I'd be glad to share more information outside the meeting. Thank you again.
And I have no more public comments in chambers or via Zoom.
Then, since we don't have any more public comment, we will go to the consent agenda.
I have no corrections or additions to the minutes.
Can I get a motion to adopt the consent?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is passed. So, sorry, this is a new thing for me. We're going to go to the public hearing 7.1 with Mr. Prada.
Thank you. We'll have Mr. Tafoya provide a brief description of this project. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Good evening, Chair, Planning Commissioners, and members of the public. I'm Victor Tafoya, Associate Planner with the County of San Benito. For this item, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission postpone action on PLN 250035, a minor subdivision at 111 Best Road until CEQA review has been completed. The project site lies within designated critical habitat for the California tiger salamander, a federally protected species. The property also contains freshwater emergent wetland, which falls under the protection of the county's riparian corridor ordinance. In addition, the area is known to have archaeological and cultural resource sensitivity that must be evaluated under CEQA. Because of these conditions, CEQA exemption cannot be used for this project. Therefore, a CEQA initial study is required to properly assess potential impacts and identify any needed mitigation measures. Continuing this item will ensure the Planning Commission has before it is a completed environmental record and make a decision consistent with state law and county policy. Do you have any questions?
So we can open this up to public comment.
I have no public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
Okay,
Commission?
then I will move to continue to a date uncertain per staff recommendation.
Second.
All right, the item is continued.
Oh, we need a vote.
Oh, sorry. The vote, all in favor of continuing the item?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The motion is continued. Let's see, go on to 7.2.
Right, good evening, Chair, Planning Commissioners, members of the public, Victor Tafoya, Associate Planner with the County of San Benito. For this item, staff recommends that the Planning Commission continue consideration of PLN 250045, a minor subdivision at 748 Bellotto Road to October 15, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. Public Work has determined that the tentative map is incomplete as several required elements are missing, including ownership information, APNs, contours, and easements. These must be provided before further review can occur. Environmental health requires clarification on potable water supply for each proposed parcel and submission of water testing results. The county's general plan policy, PFS 4.1, requires that subdivisions demonstrate adequate water supply treatment and delivery facility sufficient to meet capacity and water quality standards. Continuing this item to October 15 of 2025 will allow the applicant sufficient time to provide the revised tentative map, water testing documentations, ensuring the project can be reviewed against the county adopted standards before returning to the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment?
There is no public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
Thank you. Any commissioners? Do you have a,
I have nothing.
and do I have a motion to continue to?
I make a motion for
October?
county staff to continue this item to October 15th, certain.
October 15, yes.
I'll second. Oop.
All right.
All those in.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. So now we can go on to 7.3. Again,
Alrighty, Planning Chair, Planning Commissioners. For this item, staff recommends that the Planning Commission postpone action of PLN 250046, a minor subdivision at 5201 Airline Highway until CEQA review has been completed. The project site lies within designated critical habitat for the tiger salamander, a federally protected species. The property also contains freshwater emergent wetlands, which fall under the protection of the county's riparian protection ordinance. In addition, the area is known to have archaeological and cultural resource sensitivity that must be evaluated under CEQA. Because of these conditions, CEQA exemption cannot be used for this project. Therefore, a CEQA initial study is required to properly assess potential impacts and identify needed mitigation measures. Continuing this item will ensure the Planning Commission has before it a complete environmental record and can make a decision consistent with state law and county policy.
all right, do we have any public comment?
There is no public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
Commissioners, do you have anything? Can I get a motion to continue?
Did they want a date certain or uncertain?
Uncertain.
didn't
No,
see
to
one.
uncertain time.
So you just have to say to a date uncertain.
So,
I'll second. That was to a date uncertain.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the motion is passed. So we can move on to Abraham.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Planning Commission. Per section 1911-012 of the San Benito County Code, the Director of Planning shall set a public hearing before the Planning Commission to review a developer's compliance with the development agreement on an annual basis. The developer shall provide such information and documents as may be deemed by the director as reasonably necessary to ascertain compliance with the development agreement. Therefore, the applicant shall essentially prove to the Planning Commission that they are in substantial compliance to their development agreement. Staff did a review of the development agreements within the County of San Benito and found that there was no existing process in place for these periodic compliant reviews for development agreements. Therefore, staff has been working with County Council to put a process in place for these periodic compliant reviews. And from now on, staff will be bringing to the Planning Commission on an annual basis the compliant review for the development agreements. The Planning Commission can also request at any time to bring a compliance review as well, but we have set in our calendars that we will be bringing them at an annual basis or at the time that it is determined that we need to bring them as well.
But before you go forward on that, I would just like to request that we not have more than one per meeting so that we don't end up with an 8-hour meeting with that plus all the other business that we have.
That makes sense.
And I'd just like to agree with that. If we read everything that you give us, and maybe I'm just a slow reader, that's a task.
It is an absolute big task.
Thank
So we appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you. The county currently has 4 active development agreements, which consist of Santana Ranch, San Juan Oaks, Fairview Corners, and Panoche Valley Solar LLC. As you know, your commission has already reviewed 3 out of the 4 in the previous months. Today, the Planning Commission will be considering the periodic compliance review of the development agreement by and between the County of San Benito and Panoche Valley Solar LLC. Before we get into that, though, I do want to indicate that the periodic compliance review of the DA is an opportunity for the developer to indicate how they have been in compliance with the DA. So per section 1911-12 of the San Benito County Code, the developer, and this is quote, the developer shall have the burden of providing compliance at the public hearing before the Planning Commission, unquote. So just wanted to make sure to indicate that. And the representative is here. But before we get into that, I want to also indicate that per section 1911-12D of the San Benito County Code, if the Planning Commission finds the developer to be in full compliance with all terms and conditions of the agreement, it shall adopt a written resolution certifying compliance with the development agreement, which, as you know, you have done with the previous 3. Per subsection E of the same code, if the Planning Commission finds that good faith compliance with all terms and conditions of the agreement has not been demonstrated, the Commission shall refer the matter along with its recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. So you have that option as well. The project that is here before you for compliance review consists of up to 247 megawatts located on approximately 1,888 acres on an overall 2,506 acre site and involves the installation of approximately 1 million photovoltaic panels. Very briefly, it was the development agreement was originally approved in 2010, but there was a first amendment to the development agreement back on November 3rd, 2015. And it was originally with SolarGen Energy Inc., but then with the First Amendment, it was changed to Panoche Valley Solar LLC, which is the assignee of SolarGen Energy Inc. We do want to bring to your attention that weed abatement has been an ongoing issue with the project. The fire department and code enforcement have been collaborating on this matter, and a notice of violation has been issued to Panoche Valley Solar requiring weed abatement with the following correction items. These are 5. 1, to mitigate the fire hazard according to adopted state and county fire codes. 2, to enlarge the safety line from the solar arrays to the fence lines. 3, to provide the weed abatement hazard mitigation plan to the planning department and fire department. 4, to establish a fire service agreement with the City of Hollister Fire Department. And 5, to provide proof of the fire service agreement. I'll touch a little bit on the fire service agreement, and we also have Fire Marshal Charlie Bedoya on Zoom as well, if you have any questions on that. The issue with the weed abatement is that the panels, when they rotate with the sun, and at the pivot point, the mechanism as they're rotating can potentially spark or ignite a spark and catch a brush fire. And so code enforcement provided an unannounced site visit today and has indicated that they actually have seen the majority of the site that has been mowed, and they saw some patches that were maybe needed some attention, but for the most part, they have been mowed. Per an email received from Fire Marshal Charlie Bedoya, upon completion of the project, there was a fire service agreement that was to be negotiated on to maintain personnel, apparatus, equipment inspections, and emergency response. The fire chief is in contact with Panoche Valley Solar, and at this time, after talking to the Fire Marshal Charlie Bedoya, who again is on Zoom, and can speak more about this, the fire department would hope that the commission hold or waits on approving a resolution of compliance with the development agreement until these matters are resolved. And so therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission continue the item until a date certain of October 15, 2025. And in the meantime, Panoche Valley Solar LLC can provide proof of compliance. We have Fire Marshal Charlie Bedoya on Zoom, and we have a representative from Panoche Valley Solar LLC, who also has indicated that it would be their preference that this item be continued to a date certain of October 15. Are there any, this concludes the presentation. Are there any questions for staff?
If you don't mind, go ahead. No, you're the chair. Can you just say the date of how long they want to continue this to?
Would be for the next Planning Commission meeting of October 15th, 2025, the next regular Planning Commission meeting.
And this is the recommendation of the fire marshal?
The fire marshal and also planning staff to ensure that they are complying with the notice of violation and they're complying with the fire marshal's requirements for the fire service agreement. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chair, I have a question, if I may. Okay, you said code enforcement went out there and they mowed around the towers where they rotate and they spark, right? All you said was they mowed.
It was an unannounced visit, yes.
All's it solar, the Panoche Valley thing, all they did was mow around that. So all that dead, dry grass is still there that it will ignite. That makes no sense. Somebody needs to go up there and make sure that they hand clear away a minimum of 10 feet from everywhere one of those posts is that rotates. Minimum of 10 feet. And code enforcement should have known better. Just sat up there and went up to, oh, they mowed it. No, it's still going to burn. We have a problem there, a big one. So,
good point.
Code enforcement back out there and make it so it's done right. It has to be bare ground, wherever that pivots, has to be bare ground, a minimum of 10 feet all the way around that post. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Scaluri. Yes, and they need to submit a weed abatement hazard mitigation plan as well.
Make sure that's included.
Yes.
Not just mowing. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it is part of the notice of violation. That's correct. Yes.
Does if you don't mind, is there any ordinance or rule that says that it should be gravel, perhaps, as opposed to having to mow it every year?
That is something that can be discussed with the fire marshal and see if that's something that
we could work into. And these motors that articulate the cells, the photovoltaic cells, are they 120 volt?
We have the applicant here that can address that potentially.
So the point I'm kind of getting is, although fire is a huge problem, especially in a fire zone where we live,
Yeah.
I think those articulating motors, have there ever been a fire caused from that? I guess would be a question.
Yeah, we can. I know there has been fires in the past, and we can have our
The
fire marshal
speak to that.
Yeah, if that's okay.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. If that's okay. We can have them.
Charlie, you've been unmuted. If you would like to answer the question.
Can you hear?
We can.
Hi, this is Charlie. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Can you hear
can.
me?
Yes.
You hear us?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Perfect. I can hear you perfect. Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission. Thank you for having me here today. First question, there's been numerous fires because of the failure of the panels. I mean, and it's documented because we had CAL FIRE come out there and they investigated it. So, working with them. So we have definitely malfunctions through there. And from what I was heard is their panels are outdated, so they can't just replace them. So there's a problem with the infrastructure. They have to try to do it. As far as the clearance, code requires it 30 feet, not just 10, 30 feet, but we require more to the fence line. And the state fire code that's adopted says it needs to be bare ground underneath these arrays. That's the state fire code. That's not my requirements. That's the state fire code that requires that. So we're still waiting for them to contact us to see if they're in compliance with the weed abatement and all the clearances out there. So a majority of it is burned out, but we're still waiting for them to get to confirm that they have continued that work. And the fire chief's supposed to be in contact with them for the fire service agreement. Does that answer everything?
Yeah, it certainly helps. If we could dig down a little bit deeper, I'm just curious for my own personal self, if those articulating motors have been the reason that there have been fires caused in solar panel farms.
Again, I'm driving in between a hill. Apologize.
Yes, if you could repeat that one more time, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. And any, whether it's caused by whatever reason it is, but what my question was is it the articulating motor that turns the solar panel to match the sun's ray? Is that the issue that seems to be the cause of these fires in solar panel farms?
On this particular, I don't know the other ones, but this particular one, the wire's getting caught up into the gear system and it's shorting it out and it's getting cut. I believe they have done their due diligence into trying to repair it. And then there's other issues too where there are fuses that are blowing in between there also that we've seen. So it's a combined, it's not just one item that's lighting them off. There's a combined items that are starting the fires. At this particular place. I don't know about everywhere else.
I thank you for that.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, Charlie, I have a question. They were
Yes,
not
sir.
required to put gravel, like Mr. Ringhayden said, when they built that. And why weren't they made to put down a barrier, like for vegetation barrier and gravel to make that so it is weed free? Why weren't they required to do that when they built this?
Honestly, I did require it, but there was pushback as we can't do it. We have goats or we have sheep and they don't eat it at all. And I go, well, the code requires, well, we can't because this supersedes. I'm like, well, you guys are doing more damage to the critters that are living underneath there with the fires than we are protecting it, so we're endangering all the rangeland and people's livelihoods out there because of their negligence on that. And that's, I've gotten a lot of pushback on that, saying that they're unable to do it. So we were hoping that they've finally got to the point where we can mitigate it. I go, that's not me requiring it. It's the state fire code that's doing it. You do have your sensitive areas, and I'm not saying to go do the sensitive areas because they don't even have panels on a lot of the sensitive areas that are out there. you can see a little island, a couple big islands that they can't build on because it is a sensitivity area. So where they're at, like I said, the state code requires it to be bare ground. And I'm like, well, we whack it down then so we can get it as much as we can. I understand if they don't want to spray, but at least continue on there and get it down to bare soil or bare ground as short as we can. I mean, that's the biggest problem right there, because we all know the winds down there, how hard are the winds coming through Willow Springs up at the peaks, 70, 80 miles an hour. And that wind is just blowing through towards Fresno, south towards Fresno coming in through, and that's what's starting it and spreading it, getting that oxygen and spreading it rapidly. Plus, in addition, they're going to have to monitor it, because the only reason we're seeing it is because they see it on camera a little too late after it's already going through there at a significant size. So that's part of their fire mitigation plan too.
Well,
You can have someone monitor it a little closer so it doesn't get as big anymore.
You would think, being business owners, that they would keep that clean. It'd be a benefit to them, make sure that was clean so their panels don't get burnt. That doesn't.
So I went across over there to a couple of places in the valley, and they're all bare soil too, right on 5 by the cemetery, the National Cemetery, and a little north. And I drove into them, and they're bare soil down there. So it's consistent with the other large solar farms also.
Yeah, there's a brand new huge one right on Sperry Avenue, right along Highway 5. It must be 3,000, 4,000 acres, all under panels, and it is all bare ground.
It is, and I do have pictures of that too. So it's consistent with other facilities too. We can't say that we're not holding them consistent, and the other facilities do maintain their housekeeping.
Yeah, we're just asking them to take care of their house is all we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you, Charlie.
I would just like to add to that, we really can't make exceptions for fire code, state fire code. That's just not smart politics on our part. If that really is what we give an exception, I'm a little surprised by that.
Madam Chair, if I may. So just wanted to touch a little bit on that. As you know, this project was approved back in 2010, and there was an extensive environmental review that was done. And so, as Charlie talked about right now, Fire Marshal Bedoya, there was mitigations that came from different aspects of the initial study, and some of those multiple mitigations came from CFW, and that was also part of. Unfortunately, it sounds like there was some conflicting mitigation that was between CFW and the fire department, and so therefore it ended up being where in this particular case it was required to be lowered but not necessarily removed or buried completely. So if there was ever a change to that requirement, we would have to also go back to CFW and review that mitigation.
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
So this CUP has been in place for a little bit of time.
Yes.
And will there be sufficient time between now and when the agenda needs to be posted that we will have the weed abatement plan and the fire service agreement? Because that is part of what we're supposed to be reviewing. And if we don't have sufficient time, they might as well not bring it back. But I do want it before the end of the year because we want to start reviewing all these in 2025. So hopefully they will be able to get it together quickly, because that will be unfortunate if we don't have that information that they are required to have.
Correct. And that is what we've discussed, that the hope is that the fire service agreement is brought before the planning staff and the fire department within the next month, and that the corrections are submitted prior to that as well.
Staff and fire department, no, the planning commission.
Correct.
We can review everything in there, and I want to see it ASAP. Thank you.
Yes.
And this is Charlie real quick. Just to let you know, they are working with us, and we have been working with the summertime, and we do have a tentative fire service agreement. There are some adjustments that need to be done, so they just need to continue on and work with our fire chief on that. But there was something written up, we just to make some adjustments, and we need to go inspect it. So they have been working hard to help meet their terms.
Okay. And is there also a weed abatement program that's been approved by somebody? I would assume fire.
We're still waiting for that too, yeah. So we have some, those are the things they need to submit to us. I'm still waiting for that, but they have been working on that. They did submit a fire service agreement, but we're going to have to make some adjustments to that. And they're working with the chief on that, and we're still waiting on the other stuff. So I'm still waiting from the hazard from the initial fires that we've had there to get out there and go inspect it.
Okay, so will October 15th be sufficient time? Because I don't see a point of continuing it until the 15th to have them come back and say, oh, well, we didn't get it, because it's not going anywhere without those 2 documents that are minimum.
Good point, Commissioner Gibson. We do have Shannon representing the Panoche Valley Solar that we can unmute if she would like to address that question, if you like.
Yes, please.
Please.
Shannon, I'm trying to promote you to panelist because you have an old version of Zoom and it will not allow me to let you speak. I'll try also again with Rachel Jones. Rachel, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there. Shannon, are you unable, Shannon is unable to speak?
Apparently she's using an old version of Zoom and it's not compatible.
Okay, Shannon, she will dial in on a phone line. I'm happy to cover a couple things. So my name is Rachel Jones. I'm an attorney with Cox, Castle, and Nicholson, and we represent RWE, who is the developer for the Panoche Valley project. I think the question that was asked was whether we would be interested in continuing to some date beyond October 15th. Is that correct, Abraham?
Well, I don't want anybody wasting their time. If you're not going to have those documents to the Planning Commission at that point, I don't see a reason to continue it for 1 month if we're going to continue it again.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to accomplish.
I appreciate the clarification. I know that RWE is working very hard to address these issues. I think an additional month would be, if you're concerned about potentially not having all the items buttoned up by the 15th, I think it would be fine to push to the November meeting, if that's what you're suggesting. Hoping Shannon can weigh in if she sees it differently, but I think RWE would be comfortable with that.
That sounds better to me. I'd rather push it off until November so that we are guaranteed that we have it, because it's disappointing to continue items when we spend our time to prepare for them. And same with staff and everyone else.
Madam Chair, that would be for November 19th, 2025. And staff would be okay with that. That gives us a little bit more time to review as well.
But before we take any action, we need to get public comment.
Oh, I have one more question, please, Chair.
Yes.
Charlie, is Charlie still on the line? Charlie, are they all up to date on all their fire payments for all the stuff for the fire suppression and stuff? Are they up on all their payments?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So unfortunately, that was something that was missed throughout the time on the developmental agreement and the CUP. So we're just trying to get them up current on there, because it was something that was never addressed through that. And that was just something that when I got put into it, then we started understanding and learning all this stuff once we actually got in there and read the paperwork. So I'm not blaming anyone, but there hasn't been anything done since it's opened up. Since the completion of construction.
Is there any way we can go retroactive and pick up all those payments that due us since 2018? Is there wording for that?
I think that's beyond my scope.
Okay.
That would be great.
Who do we ask that question to, Mr. Attorney?
Sorry, what was the
Okay,
question
they
there?
haven't paid from 2018 to present for the fire suppression.
Since they were approved.
Well, since we were approved. So they haven't made these payments. Is there any way we can go back and collect these funds that we
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
reserved?
Yeah, they're still on the hook for those payments. Yeah.
Okay, we have to make sure that's worded in whatever we do then, that we go back and pick all this up.
Well, the motion could just be that we resolve all the open items before they come back.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it doesn't, don't take this wrong, staff, that it gets missed. Don't miss it.
But they would be on before this, would there be some language, it'd be on an agreement to make those payments Like, how does that,
It should already be in the agreement itself that those payments are due and they don't
are they,
get
are they
around those payments
behind?
I'm sorry?
They're behind right now on those payments.
That's my understanding of this discussion. Yeah, that they're behind,
So
and
we-
just like any other agreement you have with, if you don't pay your bills, that doesn't mean you get to not pay them, right? They're still due, right? You would hope. Right?
Unfortunately, it's never been caught until just now.
That's why we're going to be doing annual reviews like we should have been doing the entire time.
Madam Chair, there's also the fire service agreement that they're working on, and that could potentially be addressing the payments that were due as well. I know that was part of the Charlie's email, that's part of what they are going to be addressing on the fire service agreement. So hopefully that can address it, and that can be before you, so you can review.
Chair, I have one question for you. Just because I don't know, is there a maintenance schedule that they're supposed to, go out and look at their stuff every so often? Is that part of the agreement to have a maintenance schedule?
They have indicated, RWE has indicated that they do have, review of their panels and so forth. They've done that in the past, and the hope is that when they provide their presentation to confirm that they have been in compliance, that they provide that information to you. So we can definitely indicate that they provide their maintenance schedule on as part of their presentation. Yeah.
This is Charlie. On that too, I'd more than like to be up there quarterly, just to make sure everyone's in compliance, so we don't have a op in it at any time. So I'm more than willing to be out there also. That's part of the agreement.
You broke up a little, but I believe you're saying that quarterly, they should be reviewed quarterly.
At the fire
All
department.
right, can you hear me right now? I said part of the agreement, I have no problem with going out there quarterly with that fire service agreement as part of the service that we provide for them, just to make sure that everything's compliant and there's not a drop in the service out there.
Yep, ounce of prevention.
Yeah, and if he's willing, and if you're willing to go out there on a quarterly basis, thank you.
All right. Is that all of the, do we have any public comment?
I do. Leslie Austin, you have been allowed to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. Good evening again. I just want to offer public comments in support of the conversation that's happening right now. I just really want to acknowledge the commission for holding the line on compliance in these reviews. I think things like weed abatement and fire safety, and I've heard you all say this already, aren't really just boxes to check. They're essentially what build trust in renewable energy projects. And when developers take care of those responsibilities, it shows that solar and battery and all of the other sort of renewable energy projects in communities demonstrate a real benefit for the community. So I just want to thank you for that work.
And Chair, I have no more public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
Do we have any commission? Have you?
I move to continue this item until Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. And I would require that all outstanding items have been addressed and that we have sufficient time to review said plans and paperwork, not at the last minute. I believe our rules say the week before the meeting. And if we don't have those items in our hands the week before the meeting because the applicant is dilly-dallying, it won't be a good outcome.
I have a suggestion. Could we maybe make it a special meeting? No? Okay.
All
Did
right.
you make a motion? I'll second it. I'd like to second that motion.
All right. We have a first and a second for the motion of continuing this to Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. All in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
I think that was an aye, Commissioner Scagliotti, for agreement, correct? Or
Yes.
okay.
I looked at the date because I'm going
I
to be
agree
gone,
too.
so I might be back in time. Okay.
Thank you.
Are we done?
Commissioner announcements.
Oh, commissioner announcements. Do we have any commissioner announcements?
Yes. I would like to, since we don't have a future agenda item on here, which we should fix that, I'd like to have a discussion about establishing a policy that certain projects over a certain size require union contractors. So if you're going to build a school, or you're going to build a development over so many houses or over a certain dollar amount,
Get a
I'd like to
labor
at least have the
agreement.
discussion to see if we can take a look into doing something about requiring it. Coming up with rules, because other jurisdictions do, and there's certainly no reason why we can't come into the modern age.
What a wonderful suggestion.
Sounds good to me.
And hopefully
And I know you're busy, so no particular rush because you have a lot of other things on your plates, but I'd like to see it sometime before the end of next year.
Do you have a recommendation on what size of project is a qualifier?
No, I would refer you to the group that's come before us before. They had a whole list of qualifiers and things about providing health insurance and different things at different levels of the project, and having what are those, apprentices and all that stuff. They had quite a complex system of rules to discuss, and I think it certainly couldn't hurt to discuss it, even if the board decides not to follow our lead.
Sean, is this something that would be a labor agreement upon the time of their application?
Yeah. It'd be like a condition of approval, or it could be an ordinance, or however.
How would that work, in other words?
Right. It would be one of those mechanisms. I'm not totally sure which one it would be. And we shouldn't discuss this too much as it's not an agendized item. But yeah, one of those mechanisms, we should be able to work it in.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
I just wanted to put some specifics out there so that we don't have a non-agenda item, because we can't. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want it
totally
to be so vague we can't actually do anything.
Right.
So there seems to be consensus. So if staff could work on that, and I think that's it for tonight.
All right. I tend to agree. So do I have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
I will second.
The meeting of the San Benito County Planning Commission. Oh, vote. Oh, sorry. Okay. All of those in favor of adjourning? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
We survived.